I'd like to share with you the organization of the North Carolina ELD Standard Course of Study. We'll just do a brief overview to develop our understanding of the framework. WIDA has begun with the 5 standard statements. These are unchanged and they involve the content areas of social and instructional language, language arts, math, science, and social studies. And then next we have the key language uses. These are overarching language genre families that WIDA has identified by sifting through children's literature, informational texts, curricula, national standards to identify these 4 overarching key language uses of narrate, inform, explain, and argue. And then we move down to a more granular level, language expectations or language goals are typically delineated much the same as content area standards that teachers are accustomed to seeing. And we'll talk about that nomenclature development in just a minute. And then finally, within the framework, WIDA has developed what is known as proficiency level descriptors. These are matrices that describe language not embedded in content, but embedded in the 3 dimensions of language: discourse level, sentence level, and word level. And these describe possible trajectories of language across the 6 proficiency levels and within the 3 dimensions of language. Again, that's discourse, sentence, and word level. And so let's take a look at language expectation, and let's talk about how a language expectation is built. You're always going to start with the nomenclature ELD for English language development, a dash, and then you would select one of the 5 standards, either social and instructional language, language arts, math, science, or social studies. Then you would place a dot and select a grade band. WIDA has delineated grade bands for their standards as well as for their access language proficiency assessment. There's kindergarten, grade 1, grades 2 through 3, 4 through 5, 6 through 8, or 9 through 12. And then next, you're going to choose a key language use. As we've mentioned earlier, these are the 4 overarching language genre families of narrate, inform, explain, or argue. Then you're going to place a dot and you would select the mode of communication, and that would be either interpretive or expressive. And so let's build a sample language expectation. And I'm going to click in my text box. I'm going to type ELD with a dash. I'm going to select the content area of science. So I'll type an SC. I'll place a dot. Next, I'm going to select my grade band. I'm going to choose first grade. I'll place a dot. And then I'm going to choose a key language use, I'm going to select Inform, and then I'm going to choose a mode of communication, and I'm going to select Expressive. And so we have just built a sample language expectation. Okay, so next let's talk about the proficiency level descriptors. This is an example of proficiency level descriptors for grades 2 through 3. You'll see in the leftmost column the levels of language. This is what we see in this snippet is discourse, organization of language, and cohesion of language. And we see across the topmost row the 6 levels of language, and each cell describes a possible trajectory of language development for a student in grade band 2 through 3. And so that is the organization of proficiency level descriptors. And that concludes our explanation of the framework and the organization of our North Carolina ELD standard course of study as an overview.